Hey guys, Kyle from Dwarf. Today we're going to be looking at the Fendente Cuts, or the descending cuts from the Flower of Battle. So before we get too much into it, I want to talk to you about Fiore's thoughts on it. This is what Fiore had to say on the descending cuts. We are the downward blows Fendente. In this art, our method is to cut with precision from the teeth down to the knee, and we can easily end up in any of the low guards. We are highly effective in breaking the other guards, and with each blow we leave a trail of blood. We downward blows strike fast, and thereafter we return to our guard back the way we came. So, a Fendente cut is just a downward blow, a descending cut. You can do them as Mandrito Fendentes, or you can do them as Reverso Fendentes, okay? I'm going to talk a little bit what those differences are. So a Mandrito Fendente, for our purposes, is a downward blow that starts on your sword side and comes across your sword side. A Reverso is a descending blow that starts on your off side, starting this way, okay? Now it's important to note, when we look at the diagram from the Flower of Battle, that the descending blow is not a straight up and down cut like this. Okay, it has an angle to it. Now, there is some speculation on why that might be. I read an article very recently that I think does a really good job of summarizing why that might be. And the way it describes it is going from the teeth down to the knee. So, on a historic battlefield, even the most poor soldier would prioritize getting a helmet if they're only going to be able to afford a single piece of armor, which means they're probably wearing some steel, maybe they have an arming cap underneath, some chainmail even, by the time of Fiore, which means a downward blow like this from a sword is not going to have quite enough impact to finish them off by itself. And depending on the shape of their helmet, it may even just glance off. And the skull itself is designed to help with that kind of glancing protection. So, the way Fiore describes it is starting out under the teeth and finishing at the knee, most likely means that he's basically saying hit under the helmet, okay? There's not going to be as much armor here if he's a poorer soldier. And we can see that the angle of my blade here very much starts under the teeth and exits above the knee, okay? Now, that's not to say you couldn't do a cut like that to your opponent's head. And in terms of HEMA, you can absolutely do that, and the head is considered a higher value target. The main thing is you still want to have that angle. You do not want it to be straight down like this, okay? You want it to have just a little bit of an angle. Now, a Mandrito Fendente, like I said, is going to start on your sword side, and it's very important to note that it's starting in this high quadrant over here, and it's going to finish in this lower quadrant over here. So to properly do a Fendente cut, look at it this way, okay? We want to make sure we're standing in our proper guard. I want to make sure as I throw the cut out that I'm keeping my hands in, okay? I don't want to do a big Conan swing where I go like this to try and do my cut, because it means I'm going to be projecting my arms forward first, and I'm most likely just going to get hit in the arms for my trouble, okay? It's more important to make sure that as I do my cut, I start by keeping it in, and now only once the sword is forward do I extend the arms out, okay? Now, the timing on when you want to move is that you want to start kind of in your proper guard. Your back foot, which is going to be your sword leg in this case, is up off the ground, okay? The timing is that I kind of want my body to start that turn. Then I'm going to bring my leg forward as the sword starts to get in front of me. I don't want to have the leg and the turn and all that come first. I want the blade to get out as early as I can, then take my step. And I should be landing with my foot just a second after the blade has made contact with my opponent. That way I can make sure all the energy and force from the actual step is in the edge of the sword when it hits. If my foot hits first, I've wasted all that energy with my foot hitting the ground. If my sword manages to connect just before my foot does, now it's going to have a lot more impact, okay? It's also important to note with the Fendente cuts that you can do them with the true or the false edge of your sword. So a true edge Fendente cut, very simple. It just means that the edge aligned with your knuckles is the edge that's making the cut. A false edge cut means the back edge is making the cut. Now, those are not necessarily great cuts to start with. If I'm going to cut, that's a little more awkward to do, and it's not going to be nearly as powerful as that. It's a really good follow-up or secondary action, okay? So maybe we're fencing, I cut and I miss, and I come around this way. Because we can see from this side, if I try to get it around, to do a true edge cut, it's going to be a little bit slower than cutting that way. All right? Again, so you have your Mandrito Fendente, which is on this side. The Reverso Fendente just means it's coming from this side now. So one way I could do a Reverso Fendente is if I started in Posta di Donna Sinistra. I can do Reverso that way. However, you can also do a Reverso Fendente from this side. It just means that rather than coming out this way and getting that angle, you're going to come out this way and get that angle. Alright, so those are your different Fendente cuts. You have the Mandrito Fendente, you have Reverso Fendente, you have true edge Fendente cuts, you have false edge Fendente cuts. Hope you found that helpful. I'm going to be talking about the other cuts in other videos, so do keep an eye out on those as well, okay? Thanks for watching.